Here are 5 favorite modern poems inspired by the Odyssey. After posting about Chinese translations of the Odyssey last week, I had a former student reach out and ask about poems and poets who take up Homer's story. I love this question, and there's an impossible number of answers. So to narrow it down, here's a few by alumni of the International Poetry Forum. My first recommendation is just to read all of Borges. Homer's a poet who floats in the background of everything, and especially as Borges goes blind later in his life, he's fashioned by others and even fashions himself as a kind of Homeric figure. If you're looking for a single poem, you might take a look at Arte Poetica, which is translated by a fellow International Poetry Forum alum, W.S. Merwin. It has these beautiful lines. They say that Ulysses, sated with marvels, wept tears of love at the sight of his Ithaca, green and humble. Borges visited Pittsburgh to read in our series in 1968, and the fact that I have anything to do with an organization that has anything to do with Borges is a dream come true. We speak Spanish and English at home, so I try to read him in both languages, but he's impossibly difficult. I struggle with him even when I'm reading in English, but that's my number one recommendation. The second is a book-length poem, Omeros by Derek Walcott. He visited the International Poetry Forum 4 times between 1972 and 1992, the year he won the Nobel Prize, largely on the merit of this work. The final sequences of the book are some of my favorite in literary history. You have these moments of sheer violence alongside sheer beauty, like an immense lilac emptiness settled the sea. Walcott was good friends with 2 other poets who were also Nobel laureates and alumni of the International Poetry Forum, Seamus Heaney and Joseph Brodsky. Brodsky has a famous poem of Odysseus writing to his son with the devastating lines, "The Trojan War is over now. I don't recall who won it." My fourth recommendation is Annie Allen by Gwendolyn Brooks. This is one of the most important books of poetry of the 20th century. Everyone speaks about this book in light of Virgil, because the main sequence of the poem is a pun on the Aeneid, Annie's name, the Aeneid. But in the appendix poems, the speaker is also figured as a kind of Penelope figure in Chicago as her lover goes off to war. Brooks visited the Forum in 68 and again in 83, and she was a tremendous fan of the poetry scene here in Pittsburgh. Finally, I have to include a Greek poet, another Nobel laureate who visited the International Poetry Forum in the 60s. My recommendation is just to read as much of him as you can, but if you're looking for a specific translation, I really like this collection, which includes some of his and some other modern Greek poets' work. There's a million ways to answer this question. I love Louise Glick's poems, so many come to mind, but let me know in the comments if you have any favorite modern poets or poems inspired by Homer. I know my former student is going to watch this video, so I'm sure she'll appreciate the recommendations.